In the world of internet marketing, unless you have figured out who you want to sell your product to, you can't go really far. Unless you figured out what to sell to whom, your target market will never understand what you do or what you can do for them. Hence, the creation of an avatar. But just what is an avatar? Let's get the computing definition of avatar. It is actually an icon or figure representing a particular person in a computer game, internet forums, among others. Your avatar represents the person you want to offer your services with. This is someone you want to talk with because he is your ideal person to buy from you. You want this person to buy from you because he personifies someone you want to work with. With him, you can be at your best. But who is he? Or is he she? Of course, an avatar can either be a male or a female, or anywhere in between. If you watch the movie Avatar, you might have some idea what an avatar should be. In the movie, the actor ended choosing his avatar to be him in his real life. The life of his avatar became bigger than his own, that he preferred to continue living his life in his avatar form. If you haven't watched the movie, you go watch it. If you want to create an effective marketing campaign that will reach your intended audience, it is really important to create an avatar that is almost real for you, where his or her business is bigger than your own. This is someone where you can feel their pains, not really because you experience their pains in your life, but because you know that pain, and that pain you want to provide solution with. That pain you know you can provide solution with. At the right side of this video, you will find a sample avatar profile. You can download that and see just what an avatar document should look like. Of course, you can always keep your avatar profile document simple. What is important is that you were able to create one so that you will have a clear picture of who your avatar is. This is because you need to know this person and make them almost real. Okay, now so we know what an avatar means, the next step is to create your own avatar profile document. You can start this document by identifying your goals. What is it that you want to achieve this year? I really don't go to details for a long term goal. I only visualize what I want to do in 5 years, but no specific. That is how I set my goal. But every year, I create a roadmap divided by 4 quarterly goals. This is where I go by my 90 days goals. I feel that it is easier to visualize or imagine how to achieve a goal if it is short term. So I usually create short term goals. As for you, you could just list out a simple list what you want this year or next year. Your goals are your motivation to work on your avatar. So, it is really important to specify what is your goal. I like to say that if you create or you write your goal statement, you state it in a smart way. Like create your smart goal. But I don't want to put in too much element of what is a smart goal is. We know that it should be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. But don't think about it yet right now. If especially if this is the first time that you are writing your goal statement. So just keep it simple and to know if it's smart or not, you will evaluate. You can evaluate it later. The next thing is you should have um, motivation behind your goal. What motivates you to achieve this? Mine, and I have to be honest about it, is revenue motivated. I used to say my goal this way. By the second quarter, I will earn this amount of USD per month. Now, I said I used to say because I am a bit more demanding of myself now. Because after 4 years of always creating yearly roadmap and achieving quarterly goals, I now know what my limitations are and what I can achieve within this said time frame. So, if you know yourself, you know how you work better, you can say this type of goal statement. By March of this year, I am earning this amount of USD per month, working 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, with 1 month worth of vacation, working with my ideal avatar. You could list some more goals, whether they are realistic or not. Will you have to evaluate later if they are possible within your time frame? The truth is that unless you try to achieve it, you won't know it is realistic. So just list, and you can always tweak it later if you tried and you felt those goals can or can't be done on a said time frame. When we talk about identifying your goals, I also mentioned that you need to have a motivation behind your goals. And this motivation is triggered by your purpose. I assume that because you're here and you want to learn about how to launch your expertise in 90 days, this is because you already know your business purpose. But if you don't know yet or have not really created a mission, vision, or a purpose statement, then you can start identifying your purpose by asking yourself questions. Such questions, but not limited to the following. Why are you in this business? What compelled you to start your own business? Why do you want to launch your expertise? What is your story? What is your mission vision? What is your big picture? One of the worksheet that I have provided you with, worksheet number 1, has a big space there in which you could write your own purpose. So feel free to write your purpose. It doesn't need to be absolute or again as everything that I have said, even as to what your goals are, or even this avatar document, you could really tweak anything later after you've experienced something. But right now, you need to start somewhere. So you need to start by specifying or identifying or creating what is your purpose, why you're here. What's your story? Pointers when preparing your avatar profile document. You need to remember at least these three things. First, you need to aim to narrow everything: the people you want to work with and the skills that you want to offer, or you want to master, or you want to be called an expert with, or you want to specialize. Visualize a magnifying glass looking into pebbles. That is the first layer of narrow. If you can go farther, like using a microscope, that is even better. Say you want to serve a small business startup. You want to help them launch their business. This is a pebble vision. Use a magnifying glass to have a semblance of a target market. Magnifying glass are questions such as, what businesses or industries can someone start today? What can I do to help them launch their business? Your answer might be coaching business, build and provide tech support for their back end. Your answer, if you can narrow them down, reaching your deepest, the better. If your answer is just from your magnifying glass, then it's alright. Again, as I've always said, you can tweak anything later. You could go deeper according to your experiences. What is important is you start somewhere. But if you could narrow things down and really have a clear vision, microscopic vision of your um, of the industry that you want to work with or the type of services that you want to offer to it. But again, keep your process simple. Don't complicate. That's the next pointer that I want to emphasize with. I read this quote one day on Facebook by Simon Sinek. This is shared by a VA mentor, Alicia Finelli J. If we think of everything we have to do, we feel overwhelmed. But if we do one thing we need to do, we make progress. The very reason why some of us, me included, started with a very vague target market is because we thought it is complicated to create an avatar. The irony is that it is both so simple and confusing at the same time, especially if it is our first time to create the avatar. This is because we do need experience before we could narrow down our avatar. However, the best way is to always uncomplicate. If you can't reach the level of your microscopic identification of your avatar, just magnify and go by it. There are really a lot of ways to create your avatar, so don't follow a path that doesn't sit well on you. If you feel like you are being pushed to know the most basic of your target market, don't push it. It will really come eventually. Sometimes you don't know your avatar because you have to experience something, so you need to learn. Yes, I'm thinking about another avatar right now. You know Ang, the last airbender? Yep, he's an avatar. But before he found all the answers that led him to his full potential as an avatar, he has to partake in a journey of self knowing. Maybe you are like Ang in your business. In short, don't bang your head on the wall. Reach what you can reach and start from there. Tweaks can always be done along the way until you are able to feel there it is. I know my avatar. Lastly, document your version. Yes, I didn't do this 4 years ago. I just found it like recently. Um, the worksheet that I shared has a version area. You can make use of it to document the evolution of your avatar. The reason why we don't wait perfection before we set out and go after our avatar, narrow or not, is because we change. As we grow in our career, we learn a lot more things. And so we might no longer feel that our niche, our services be enough to cater to our avatar's needs. Or it could be vice versa. We might realize one day that our avatar is no longer an avatar that we would want to work with. So we could always change. Our documentation will provide some insights as we grow. We can see why it didn't work working with so and so because of some reasons. And we could also see through our documentation why we were able to do our best with certain types of avatars because of so many reasons. So and so, there are so many so's. But this habit will help us grow better, to not start over and over groping in the dark, always restarting at the beginning and not really realizing that along the way, we have learned lessons. If we document it, we will be able to specify or highlight which works and which didn't. And so, after knowing the pointers, now you have some idea what you need to prepare. You can now start on identifying your avatar. This is really a very personal thing to do. You have to um look into yourself, and if you feel comfortable on the approaches that you're using. So as I've mentioned, there's a lot of ways to identify your avatar. There's a lot of resources online that you can find, so use something that you feel most comfortable with. The three approaches that I'm about to share to you are the approaches that brought me to my own eureka of identifying my own avatar. But one thing is common though in all the things that I've read on creating the avatar is that you need to first be clear on what is niche and what is your target market real need. So if you are able to really understand your own skills and then the needs of your target market, and you're able to tie them up together, then it is easier to identify your avatar that way. I mean, um, in every thought, flow of thought, or every answers that you can find on the following approaches needs to do lead to your niche and the needs of your target market. So, my personal approach of finding answers is, of course, to ask myself questions. So, I always ask questions and then I mule on answers as I listed out the questions. So, you can do this. So, what I'm going to share to you right now are the questions that I ask myself. So first, you can identify your avatar by identifying your past clients or past friends that you felt you have fallen short in helping. So recall the friends that you had that you felt, or clients that you had that you felt you were not able to help. Ask yourself these questions, and of course you could add some more questions, but these are just the questions that I used to find my own. So the first question is, what or who is that one client or friend that you had this achy feeling to help but was not able to? Note, I mentioned one, but this can actually be more than one. But think about one client or one friend at a time. What was the kind of help that they needed at that time that you know, but was not able to provide at that time? So think about that one thing that you wish you could help this friend or client with, because now you know it, but at that time you still didn't know. So what are the frustrations your friend or client experienced? So recall everything that you've talked about, recall what they've shared to you, and like either that could be their funds, yeah, they have no longer funds to, or no longer money to fund their project, or is it they have this difficulty on building relationship with their list, or they have this difficulty of building their list, or they have this difficulty of identifying their market. So think about the frustrations that they had. Based on existing industries that you have researched, where does your friend or client in the past belong to? So, of course, you need to research on industries, and because this is how we narrow things. Think about industry, and then um, just put in where at what on what industry does your friend or client belong to. Um, what are the reasons why you were not able to help? So you need to also list out the reasons why you were not able to provide the help that they need at that time. And also, aside from that, remember all the things that you like helping this friend or working with this client. All things that you like the pay is good, communication is great, the passion was really the passion of this client or friend was really empowering, and just list them out, and with the good things list out all the bad things that you've experienced as well. So just list everything. Don't again, keep things simple. Don't feel like you have to really answer them. If some questions is not something that you know an answer of, then just pass it. Just list down what we recall. Now, the next approach in identifying your avatar is identify by your own experiences. Sometimes the best avatar is you. There are a lot of coaches that I know of who were able to coach or mentor someone based from their experiences, because they have been like example, all the VAs that I know of who mentors other or who coaches other VAs were virtual assistants or is still virtual assistants until now. This is because um, they understand the pains or what their clients are experiencing. So the best avatar is really you. When I decided to work with business startups, I went on and started my own business because really I felt that by experiencing what my ideal clients experience, I can talk to them better. Now, when I narrowed my ideal client more into coaches, I built my own backend, and now I'm building my own virtual classroom because I want to experience what they experience. Now, if you have identified your own experiences and this might be your avatar's experience, ask yourself specific questions on that specific experiences that you had. Like, you know what happened, but still put it in a question. Like, write it down as a question. What are the things that you need to do to solve this certain problem? So that is basically the format of the question. Like, what did I do to solve this problem? For example, for me, as I'm targeting startups, I'm I ask myself, what are the things I need to do to set up a business that is particularly for startups? What are the things I need to do to set up my own business tools so I can communicate with my team? Or what are the business tools that I need to use or set up for my daily business operations? So, what are the processes, procedures needed for my daily business operations? So, those are the things that I ask myself when I started my own business, because by identifying the problems, I could then identify the problems of my own avatar. So again, the format is, what did I do to solve this problem? So, if you have noticed, the questions are really niche based or service based. So if you were able to answer these questions and making yourself as your own avatar, you can also identify your own niche or your own service packages, if you may. Lastly, I've also used this approach on identifying my avatar. I identify my avatar by listing all the skills and then regrouping them so I can offer them to someone who can benefit it the most. So, if you can see the second approach, I have a lot of experience that brought me to developing my services. You can group these services into types or categories and imagine who among your past clients and friends you listed above that can benefit these services the most. So, for example, I had a past client before uh, who I felt I was not able to support on um, building a relationship with his list. So I that was his greatest frustration. He was not able to really build a relationship and build his authority on a certain topic or on a certain niche. So that's what I felt. So by identifying him, I then and as I built myself as the avatar that as my own avatar, I asked myself questions that would answer to his or my past clients' needs. So, what did I do to set up my own email automation so that I could build a community and I could reach out and build a relationship towards my own list? So, I ask these kind of questions, and by answering them, I now identify what services that I would offer to this type of clients, to this type of avatar that I have created. So that's the purpose of the approach number three. It's actually like combining approach one and two. So for as another example, let's say you had a client who was successful in property buy and sell business and wants to mentor people in his industry as well. He wants to launch his expertise. Now, you can ask yourself, what do you think this client will need? So list down all the things that you think he will need. Among his needs, what do you think you can do best? So if he wants to launch his expertise, launch his expertise on the buy and sell property buy and sell industry, um, what are the things that you think you should need to do? Like create a website, create landing page, create sales copies, set up this and that. So list them. And among those things, what are the things that you can do? But don't only list the things that you can do, also identify that among those things, which of them that you think you will enjoy doing the most. Once you have identified your avatar, let's have a reality check. Find your ideal client. Vaguely or not, you have to picture, um, vaguely or not, when you have the picture of someone to work with, you can then search if this image of an ideal client exists in the real world or in social media or anywhere online and offline. Knowing where they are can give you some idea how you are to put yourself in their horizon. I will be expanding on this on another presentation and videos like list building strategies. Meanwhile, your action item here is to just be sure your avatar can be real and not just an avatar from another place and time like in the movies or anime. So while at it, list down interesting things you found about them. List their frustrations and fears. List their success as well. Check out competitions too. If you are the only one who wish to serve this ideal client that you have in mind, you better rethink your target. There is always a reason why nobody wants to serve them. You can also learn a lot of tips and tricks from your competition. Join the groups, forums they are in. Most probably they are there because your ideal clients are. Again, this is something that I will be sharing more in a different lesson on list building strategy. So I will share more about it there and uh, finding your ideal client and bringing yourself in front of them is really something that needs to be expand on. Now, another thing that you need to do when you identify your avatar is to know your price. Price your worth based from your perceived value and then industry value. This is more on the product development and not really a part of this lesson, but it would help when you launch your expertise, and if you want to earn from it, you really need to have a solid idea on how much you should ask for your ideal clients. While I won't expand it here, I have to note that you have to know the value of your services and then mark a realistic price on it. So once you have identified your ideal avatar and you were able to check that they are really online and they are there, um, you have already identified where you can find them and how you are going to put yourself in front of their horizon, which I will be sharing more in a different lesson. You need to come up with conversations with your avatar and your prospects who fit your avatar. So you need to practice first before you sail out in the open and really reach out to your ideal avatar or prospects who fits your avatar. So first, you need to have your own sales pitch or your pitch. Um, you need to have this statement where clear copy, clear sentence where your ideal avatar knows outright what you can do for them. So what you can do for them, what are the things that you can do for them so they can achieve a certain goal, or so they no longer will feel a certain pain. So that speech should be able to express this. I've just stumbled upon Matt Opolsky. I'll be sharing his website down below. He's really great on if you, I think that's Matt Olpinski. Okay, he shares a lot of thoughts and insights and great content on how you are going to work as a freelancer. And if you look into his copy, he really would know just who he is and how he is able to help his clients. So basically, his pitch is very simple. I design websites and apps that help businesses grow. So, uh, if you can see, what he can do for his avatar is that he designs websites and apps. And what are the certain things that his avatar will have or will achieve or will have, I mean, or will have, is that he helps them grow their business. So that's basically his speech. Very simple, direct to the point, and yeah, I think he really has a good client base. If you go to his website, you will see just who are the people who works with. Really great. So you can check it out after this. Now, when you got your ideal avatar before you set out and reach out prospects who fits your avatar, you need to have a mental conversation with your avatar. Talk to your avatar. This is like a practice. Uh, just think if there are inquiries, how are you going to keep your conversation so that it turns into sales? And what are you going to say to them when you negotiate the price? Or how are you going to handle their frustrations if they are already your clients and things doesn't go well as planned? Don't forget though, keep it simple. Just because you are having some conversations with your avatar in your mind does not mean you have to tweak your policies right away and come up with a new contract or project code. Again, the main purpose of these conversations is to prepare your mind when you have to talk to real prospect. You will have some ideas what to say. You don't come to your prospect empty-handed. So, of course, you need to test out your mental conversation with your avatar and see if it works with a real prospect. Take note on what works and what not. Ask what frustrates them. So, whether they became your client or just your prospect, find a way to ask them what frustrates them the most in their business today. Every time you have an opportunity to talk with your prospect or even lead, ask questions to find out their current pains. Don't forget to list them out somewhere. Best to have a simple but updated database for that. Remember that only by identifying your avatar can you truly begin your marketing online, because your avatar will help you, will lead you to your ideal client.